Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, and then goes until 5 a.m. And then at 4:45 p.m. a different topic altogether. Same show on Facebook Live at 4:45 p.m. And goes until 5 p.m. Today we're talking about thoughts, your thinking, and its connection, its relationship to productivity, a super duper important topic, as you will see as the show unfolds in a matter of moments. Um, if you are new to the show, we are again each weekday morning at 4:45 a.m. Going to 5 and 4:45 p.m. and on Facebook Live, going until 5 p.m. You can gain more information. You can gain more information by going to YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, of course, hitting the subscriber button, or going to productivethroughjoy.com. See about us. We offer live one-on-one Productive Through Joy consulting. We also speak to groups and organizations live. All right. So again, today we're talking about thoughts and thinking. Let me say a few words about myself first, as your host and your boy. And this is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. That book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people called my people, and I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel Americas, which is set 13 miles from Ferguson, where Michael Brown was murdered in the conflagration that ensued initially there as well. I'm also the author of the acclaimed um, um, up and coming, soon to be acclaimed book of literary theory called Animacy Matters, which will be out soon. Hasn't been slated yet, but that book will be actually turned in a couple weeks. So look for all these books everywhere. Um, I am also the former executive director of the World Stage, a literary and jazz venue here in California. My 501c3, my educational background. I should probably mention Americas. Yes, I'm the author of Americas, the historical novel set in East St. Louis, 13 miles from Ferguson, where Michael Brown, of course, was murdered. Again, the conflagration that ensued initially there. That book is about identical twin sons, one of whom gets vitiligo, the so-called Michael Jackson disease. And that book will be out in America for the first time in April, next month. Um, so look for that in media coverage. There'll be things everywhere. So look for that. I'll probably be coming to a town near you. So look for me in the airport. All right. So thanks for being here. Let's dive into today's topic. We're talking today about productivity um, and your thoughts, your thinking. How do those two things conjoin to make you more productive? Um, in the morning show, we also like to touch on the ideal of framing your day before your day has a chance to frame you, which is our way of constructing the idea that people, including myself, all of us, um, at times wake up with trouble on our mind, especially if you are in business in any way, because in business there's so many things so many moving parts, relationships, money, lawsuits, you name it. And so at times, you wake up with all these things on your mind, at times in the same morning, which can be a bit daunting. So we find that many entrepreneurs, are just very medicated because you deal with so much stress, not to mention your own family and other stuff. I mean, that's just your job, and when you mention family concerns, and it's a lot going on in the life of an entrepreneur. So we know that, and we also know that that has a way of not only stripping us of our health, because stress, the concomitant stress that's tethered to anxiety, it takes years off your life. I mean, literally, it kills you. Heart disease is rampant in this field, heart attacks. I mean, the stress of this world can be a lot. If you can have an effective way to deal with that, it can really, really impact you. Because if you're dead, you can't enjoy that money. Basically, those boats, that lifestyle, you can't enjoy it when you're dead. But beyond and before that, just the joy that life can be day to day, right? So many people we know in this field are just super unhappy despite the fact they are super well resourced. For those who aren't doing well financially, we think, well, once I get my money right, you can't tell me nothing. But let me tell you, so many people whose money is right, their lives are very unhappy. I mean, you just don't want that. I mean, that's depressing. To have resources and to be unhappy, that's a killer. At least those who are broke have an opportunity to think one day. But when you have your resources and you still are broke emotionally, broke psychologically, broke in your heart space, it's depressing. Right? So we see that. So we practically, as a pragmatic approach, we like to help people deal with that arena as a part of our work, because we know that's a critical piece. We have these discussions and do this work in the context of a ritual. Ritual can be defined as essentially doing the same thing at around the same time. Um, it's best seen through example, right? So let me give you because we do this in the context of ritual. We call it the morning ritual. Um, so let me give you my morning ritual as just to serve as an exemplar, then talk more about it. So in the mornings I wake up at 3:30, including this morning. I read a couple of spiritual business books. I do our show at 4:30. At 4:45. At 4:45, we do our show until 5. And then at 5, I work on my current book until sunrise, which is around 6 o'clock here on the west coast of America. And then at 6, I go out to the beach, I meditate, I pray, I do yoga, I come back, I work on my current book for a while longer, and then go back to the beach to run up the coast all the way past Santa Monica's Pier. I live here along the coast in Venice, so that after I finish writing, I go to the beach, I bring my drum, I meditate, I pray. Dawn is still breaking, so it's really peaceful and beautiful. And I drum, I meditate, I pray, do yoga. I come back again, then go to the beach eventually, again to run up the coast all the way past Santa Monica's Pier, all the way back here to Venice, to go to my gym here, Gold's Gym, get my workout in, get my buff on. So by 9:30, I'm feeling amazing. My body is being flooded with endorphins. And as we know from 10th grade science, there's a scientific imperative behind the feeling of joy. When the body's feeling joy for what's happening at a biochemical level, is that the body is flooding itself with endorphins, and those endorphins can give us a sense of euphoria that we can then leverage to move ourselves towards our goals and objectives. We're not saying do what I do, we're saying do what you do, and we help individuals, entrepreneurs in particular, create a morning ritual and then keep them accountable, that's the other key. You have to have someone who can keep you accountable, because you just won't do it. I mean, it's just too difficult to be consistent. Some of us will do it, but the majority, because you're stressed, you're thinking, like, I can't be reading and doing stuff, meditating when I got, I'm in court again. But that's the whole point. It'll help you move through those phases. And so for me, I'm reading 3 books now. I read 2 usually, but I'm reading 3 now. One is called Cash in the Flash, which is a business book. One is called Nag Hammadi Reader, which is a book of kind of ancient spiritual scriptures. Other book is called Owning the Moment. So from those 3 books, I extract some wisdom. Now the books, of course, change as I finish reading them, of course, and introduce new books, but those are the 3 books I'm on now. And from those books, I extract some wisdom, which I call the morning chant. And today's morning chant is, as a meditating natural mystic, I am excited about change because I virtualize the joy, love, and abundance change will bring for my family, my community, and myself, right? So I think about that idea. I place it on my phone. As I go through my day, I'll pop my phone out, read that, think about that, contemplate that idea. And also I create the morning and afternoon shows based upon that morning reading. So every show is inspired by some type of a reading, a business, spiritual kind of inspirational element, which then creates the actual show. So all the shows are infused with the kind of an organic, just an organic in the spirit power. I can't think of a better way to describe it than that. So today we're talking about thoughts and productivity. What is the tie between your thoughts, your thinking, and productivity? All right. So again, if you're enjoying the show, please swipe left or right across your device to invite people to join the conversation. Please definitely share this on your social media platforms. Definitely go to productivethroughjoy.com. Definitely have me come out speak to your group or organization for sure. Hit that subscriber button right now here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. And yeah. Let's dive into the topic today. So, thoughts and thinking. So point one is, so this is rooted in part of my reading today from The Cash and the Flash book, which is a really surprisingly powerful book. It's a mixture of spirituality and business. I mean, it's really interesting. Um, and so point one is you want to become conscious of your thoughts. Uh, they use the word awareness, which is also a good term to use. You want to be conscious of your thoughts. All right, you want to be aware of what you're thinking and what is the nature of your thoughts. Um, so what does that mean? So they talk about, for example, how there's three types of thoughts: there's your self-dialogue, what you say to yourself, your visions, like what you imagine in your mind, and then also the feelings you get of the emotional impressions that you place on things, like how you feel about things. So those are also kind of thoughts. And that's a good way to think about thinking this particular type of an approach. So you want to be conscious of your thinking, and they offer ideas like close your mind, close your eyes, and just see what happens, like what's coming into your mind. Are you hearing voices? Are you seeing things? And it's becoming conscious of how your thoughts are working. So the point one is, you want to become conscious. However you choose to do that, become conscious of your thinking. And then once you become conscious of your thinking, you want to begin to think, okay, excuse me, let me clear my throat. You want to become aware of what do you want to change in your thinking. Like, is your self-dialogue, for example, hypercritical, as many of ours are at times, as mine has been at times, that still does pop up, right? Like, what you doing, MD? Right? You want to be able to master those thoughts. And it does take some work, right? Because many people, because of their background, their childhood, they were around people who were hypercritical. I've seen that, the impact of people who are hypercritical. Wow, it's intense. And that internal feedback loop that gets in your head, and that begins to hear the voice that you hear, your own self-dialogue is that voice, that critical voice, all right? So you can begin to change that and to make that voice a voice of affirmation. Amazing. The universe is for me. Something great's about to happen. You know, you're just creating that type of thought. I cannot stress how important that is. Just if nothing else I ever say to you in the next 5 years is said, embrace that idea that you can control and master your thinking, which goes into point three. As you begin to master your thinking and what you are seeing and what you are expecting, you're going to experience an extraordinary uptick in productivity, because thoughts actually are things. And these thoughts, if you think about it, all the tables or chairs that are in the world, they began as a thought in someone's mind. All thoughts are things that are about to manifest or have yet to manifest. When your thinking is rooted in, I'll just call it the good, good is going to come. When your thinking is rooted in the abundant, abundance is going to come, right? So just embrace that. Boom. It goes down. That's it for today's show. We air each weekday morning, hella early at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then at 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. We're a show aimed at entrepreneurs and those who have their own business, those who like to own their own business, and those who simply would like to live like a boss in abundance. Definitely hit that subscriber button here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Go to productivethroughjoy.com. See about us. We speak to groups and organizations about being productive through joy. Holla at us. Thanks for being here. Please hit that subscriber button here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Get these videos for free. I did say free. 1, 2, 3, for free. Thanks for being here. I think that's it. We'll see this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.